Hello, hello, my friends. I have another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Country Candle Glazed Berry Scone. Now, before we get into this review, I do always like to be upfront and let you know that this candle was sent to me in PR from KRINGLE Candle. That means that I did not purchase this candle. However, if you've been with me for any length of time, you guys know that that really does not affect my review. I do strive to always remain objective about my candle reviews, whether or not they were sent to me. And I like to share with you the pros and cons of every candle that I burn. So, but I do always like to be upfront about that and transparent with all of you guys. So this is the large apothecary style jar format. There are 2 wicks in here. This is a 100% soy wax. It is a colored wax, which we will talk about a little bit because Country Candle, I think, has struggled a little bit since they have moved over from the paraffin wax, which was standard for this lineup prior to like the spring of 2023. They've just really been trying to go to work, I guess, at perfecting this colored soy wax with wicks and all of that, and we will get into that in this review. This does retail for $31. It is currently not on sale. I honestly don't expect a lot of these new fall fragrances to go on sale for probably at least another month or two, just looking at the history of KRINGLE Candle, but who knows? You never know. I do have a discount code with KRINGLE that I will share with you guys at the end of this review, and it is linked in the description box down below. All right, you guys, the pour date of this specific candle is June 11th, 2024. I do always like to mention pour dates when I am doing a review, just because somebody may stumble across this review a year or two from now, and we all know that sometimes there are batch variations, and so I just like to be very thorough in my reviews, and including pour dates seems to be helpful. Top notes on this candle are berry and soft spice, mid notes of pastry and cranberry, base notes of sweet and maple. So what does my nose detect? All right, you guys, I think that the color of the wax on this candle has a lot of people anticipating, just looking at the fragrance notes, that this is going to be a blueberry fragrance. To my nose, you guys, this is not a blueberry fragrance at all. In fact, the fragrance note that I pick up on the most in here is cranberry. It's more of like a sweet cranberry, more than like a really tart cranberry. And the berry note that's in the top notes here, to my nose, comes across a little bit more like maybe like a blackberry. It's not super sweet, but it's not as tangy or as quote unquote summery as maybe like a blueberry fragrance, which, truth be told, you guys, blueberries in and of themselves, I don't think have like tremendous fragrance. I think that we get accustomed to like an artificial blueberry scent, but the actual fruit of a blueberry doesn't really have a very strong aroma, at least to my nose. I definitely detect when this candle is burning a little bit of those mid notes of pastry and cranberry are really what shine for me in the fragrance of this candle. It says that there is a base note of sweet and maple, and I could see that. There is a slight sweetness to this candle, but it's definitely more of a like if you've ever had a scone, it's not there's not actually, if I think back on like scone recipes, there is a very, very minimal amount of sugar in a traditional scone recipe. And that, I think, is definitely coming through in this candle. There is a slight element of sweetness, but it's definitely not like a cake or even a cookie. It's also not as buttery as like a croissant. So it's kind of hard to describe a scone. I think that they are delicious, to be quite honest with you. And I do feel like this fragrance is pretty authentic to what a cranberry scone would taste like. This is a really nice fragrance, truthfully, for this time of year. If you are somebody who is a seasonal burner like I am, I actually think that this is a really great summer to fall transitional scent, because that cranberry note in there, it's, like I said, it's more of like a sweet cranberry than it is a tart cranberry. So it doesn't really scream late fall to me. It screams more of like an early fall type of scent. It's a little bit of a gourmand, but it's not a dense, heavy gourmand. It's still a little bit light and airy, I would say. So the fragrance itself, I really, really enjoy. Now you might be looking at this really deep wax pool here, and that is because this candle at the time that I am doing this review has been lit for about 5 hours now. I have been burning it here inside my home. I do know that the wicks have been the talk of the town with a lot of these new country candles, particularly because the spring launch, we had some issues with the wicks were getting puny at about this point in the burn, and so people were concerned about that. I know that KRINGLE has been working with trying to just hit that magic spot with the wicks, and I do think that they've obtained that with this release, because you can see that I have decent healthy flames here, but you're not seeing any soot coming up from the flames, nor are you seeing soot accruing around the edge here. And truth be told, you guys, that's been an issue. I think it's just the vessel design of these country candle jars. They will catch soot. If there's any sooting, you're going to see it right here. And so far, so good. Now, I have been trimming my wicks after I burn these candles, and I will tell you that I'll insert a picture here of what the wicks look like after the first burn. This candle in particular seems to develop a little bit larger carbon residue at the end, like those carbon balls, but I do have a slight theory about that. So I am going to go ahead and try to lift up the candle here. You might even be able to see it through that little like country candle font right there, but let me try lifting this up because I'm going to show you something here. I don't know if it was a manufacturing defect on this particular candle, but do you notice how close together those wicks are? I am noticing that on this candle in particular, these two wicks are like very, very close to each other. And I have a feeling that that is why I am getting more carbon residue at the end of this candle than I am on any of the other country candles so far that I have burned from this launch, because my other country candles that I have burned from this launch so far, the wicks are not that close together. And I do feel like that is possibly why I'm getting those large carbon balls on this one. Regardless, the candle is not having any issues pulling out. And so I guess it's not really an error. In fact, I did have another country candle do this to me in this spring lineup. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but it turned out, I think it was the strawberry lemonade. It turned out that on that candle, the wicks were actually crossed like an X as I burned down further in the wax. And so I just used my wick dipper and kind of realigned them, and then everything was fine. But yeah, I just feel like the wicks on this one are placed pretty close together. And that's probably why those carbon balls are happening. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and talk about strength and throw, because that is also the concern oftentimes with these country candles. You guys, I want this one to be stronger. I honestly am a little bit disappointed in the strength of this candle. To be truthful with you guys, I don't know if you've had this experience. I think it has to do with the 100% soy wax. I do find that sometimes with my KRINGLE candles that they hit pockets where they are they're really strong, and then usually around halfway through the burn, I hit a pocket where I'm just not getting a whole lot of fragrance out of it. And I feel like that is where I'm at right now in this point of the burn. I'm at the halfway point, and I do feel like something is going on where this candle is just not as strong as it was, say, like 3 or 4 burns ago. So I'm going to give an average of this one of around a 5 in terms of strength and throw. Now, I do have listed in the description box down below the layout of my home, the age, environmental factors, all of those things you're going to want to take into account, layout, size of the home, because we know all of those things can impact what is already a very subjective thought process when it comes to reviewing candles. So when I tell you guys that this is a 5, what I mean by it is that when I place this candle into a smaller room, say like my master bedroom that has about 9-foot high ceilings, and it's a smaller bedroom. The total square footage of my house is about 1,800 square feet. So like the master bedroom is the largest bedroom, but I can smell this candle in there. It's still not a like smack you in the face type of fragrance. It's one that kind of lingers in the background. And even I noticed that in the master bedroom, it doesn't necessarily like really encompass and fill up the entire room and throw into the ensuite master bath. If I place this in one of my kids' bedrooms, typically I'll burn a candle in my teenage daughter's bedroom because she is responsible and I don't fear that it's going to catch on fire in there. But if I burn it in her room, which is a little bit smaller, then it definitely fills up that space. It's a smaller bedroom. It's like an average sized bedroom. That will fill up in there. However, when I put this candle out into my living room, it gets lost. And the living room has high ceilings and it's open concept to the kitchen. The fragrance is very, very much lost out there. I really can't smell it much unless I'm sitting maybe a couple of feet away from the spot that I am burning it in. I haven't tried yet burning it up on the quilt rack on the wall in my living room. Some of you guys, when you've seen footage of my living room, you guys know where that is placed. Sometimes I get better projection from there. So I haven't tried it yet, but I'm not really sure right now if it's just that I'm hitting one of those like dead zones. You guys comment down below if you have had that experience, particularly with large jars. I find that with their large 2-wick tumblers, and I also find it with their with these large country jars. I don't really find that to be the case as much with the 3 wicks or the medium-sized jars, but these larger ones, yeah, I hit some dead zones, and I feel like I'm in one of those right now. But when I wasn't in the dead zone, I did find that this was probably about a 5. I wish that this was more of like a 7 to an 8. That is usually like my ideal place for a lot of candles. So yeah, this one I think is going to be relegated to a bedroom to be a complementary fragrance to some other candles that are currently in my collection. Right now, I have been burning this with Bath & Body Works, their new, what is it, Cranberry and Gala Apple. That one, it's a nice fragrance combination. I can also see this complementing Homeworks' Harvest Leaves. Any other fragrance that kind of has like a cranberry accord to it. I'm trying to think what other fragrances I've been burning this with. Those are the two that kind of just like pop off the top of my head here that are really nice fragrances. So yeah, that has been my experience so far with this candle. Let me know in the comment box down below if you have purchased this candle, what your thoughts are on it. I know that there's some other reviewers who are saying that they smell blueberry in this candle, but I really don't, you guys. This is definitely more of a cranberry pastry type of fragrance to my nose. If you are interested in purchasing this candle, I mean, I know this wasn't the most glowing review, but if you're interested in any of the fall lineup and you are wanting to get your hands on them as soon as possible prior to a sale, my discount code is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your purchase at Kringle Candle. That is an affiliate code that is eligible for commission, so please only use that if you are comfortable doing so. And also, I am going to touch on, I did talk about this in my praline buttercream review that I did a little bit earlier this week. I am making best efforts, you guys, to get at least I would say probably my efforts are probably going to be about at least maybe 5 of these new fall collection candles reviewed for you guys prior to the Halloween launch that is coming up next week, which will be Thursday, Friday / August 2nd, August 3rd. And the reason I say that is because the part 1 Halloween launch is happening at 12:01 midnight Eastern Standard Time. Next Friday, August 3rd. That is, like I said, Eastern Standard Time. So those of you who are on the West Coast, you will want to be shopping, you know, at 9 o'clock in the evening. And if you're in between, that's just letting you guys know. That's why I'm saying it's Thursday, Friday. I will have a video coming up this weekend doing a preview of those fragrances. And we're just going to talk about the Halloween scents in that video, I guess. But anyways, you guys, I did want to let you guys know that in case you have been waiting for some fall candle reviews and maybe you wanted to throw a couple into your cart prior to or during that Halloween launch, you would just have some reviews for you guys. So I wish I could give this one a little bit better review because the fragrance in and of itself is really, really good, you guys. If you are somebody who prefers to like maybe do the wax melts or something like that, this one would also be a great fragrance. And I do see it being pretty versatile all the way throughout fall, pretty much leading up into when you're ready to transition if you celebrate Christmas and you're setting up Christmas decorations. I think that this is a really, really nice fragrance. I just want it to be a little bit stronger. But this one will not be going out of my collection. I won't be decluttering it. I do see myself burning this one all the way through, and I will keep you posted with my monthly empties. When I do empty this candle, I'll let you guys know if the strength and throw increased at that time. So thumbs up if you like this video. That helps me out with the old YouTube algorithm. If you like candle reviews, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do dedicated reviews, hauls, empties, and everything in between. So if you like candle content, I think you'd like to stick around here. I do want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.